Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a new cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwebe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our 247 broadcasts. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has commissioned the Arterial Road N16 from Ring Road 1 to Arterial Road N20, as well as other roads in the Katampe district of the nation's capital. President Bola Tinubu and FCT Minister Yemson Wike led other dignitaries at the event. We'll bring you details of the commissioning ceremony later. President Bola Tinubu says the All Progressives Congress APC is open to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Yemson Wike. Tinubu said the APC is open to receiving Wike whenever he decides to switch into the ruling party. He spoke while commissioning the Arterial Road N16 from Ring Road 1 to Arterial Road N20 and some other roads at the Katampe district. Let's turn to other stories now. Government, ministries and parastatals across the Federal Capital Territory have witnessed a low turnout of workers as official activities resumed following the Eid al-Kabir holidays. Global TV correspondent Sharon Ajay monitored the situation across key departments in the nation's federal secretariats and now reports.
At several offices within the Federal Secretariat complex, attendance remained low, with only a handful of civil servants resuming duties. Despite the conclusion of the Salah holidays, many departments operated below full capacity, with visibly empty corridors and limited staff present.
Very low. So a lot of people still have intention of resuming on Monday. So it's a week. They've given a week break. So nobody's coming up to work. Yeah.
Public holiday of Salah. And then this week, by tomorrow again, we're talking of. So a lot of people that travel for Salah, they might not come back. And some might stay till after the break for the Democracy Day before they'll be able to turn back. And then that's why the secretariat is so scanty. You can see by yourself. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The turn-up has usually, it's been sketchy because the Salah break was a bit long. And if you look at it tomorrow, tomorrow is also June 12th. So naturally people will look at the week. Nice. But interestingly, people are coming back to work. Yes. Thank you.
The low turnout also had a ripple effect on nearby businesses. Vendors and shop owners within and around the Secretariat reported reduced customer traffic and low sales.
Things are not moving like used to be, but actually we have actually resumed. So I can see that things are picking up small. Though from our businesses, we don't have much responses, but yet things are still picking up.
June 12th, full resumption across government offices is expected to commence by Monday, June 16th. We are currently at the Federal Secretariat, where quite a number of ministries and parastatals are located. And of course, from the outlook, you could tell that just few persons and just few cars, of course, are parked, indicating that most persons are yet to fully resume duties after the Eid al-Kabir holidays. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Well, thank you so very much, Sharon Ajay, for your reporting. The River State Sole Administrator Ibokete Abbas has presented the proposed 1.48 trillion naira 2025 budget for the state before the House of Representatives, revealing a bold fiscal framework to restore infrastructure, improve social services, and drive inclusive development under the ongoing state of emergency. He, however, lamented a lack of cooperation from some suspended state officials, which he said hindered comprehensive budget planning. The budget was transmitted to the National Assembly following presidential approval after the Supreme Court ruled on the legality of the River State 2025 appropriation process. Let's talk some politics now. The crisis between the Labour Party and its 2023 presidential election candidates, Peter Obi, has escalated amid fresh accusations and counter-accusations over the party's direction ahead of the 2027 general election. The party leadership, through its national secretary, Umar Farouk, accused Obi of waging a sustained campaign of media blackmail against the national chairman, Julius Abure, and other top officials. The latest fallout follows Obi's appearance on television, where he alleged that the All Progressives Congress APC had infiltrated the Labour Party to destabilize its leadership. The Cross River State House of Assembly has suspended the chairman of Bekwara local government area, Theresa Ushie, for a period of 3 months following a petition by members of the Bekwara Legislative Council alleging abuse of office and misappropriation of funds. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Matthew Okache, he says the lawmakers passed the resolution during plenary in Calabar, the state capital, stating that the suspension was carried out in accordance with Section 14, subsection 3 of the Cross River State Local Government Law. Justice Obiora Egwatu of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has dismissed the no-case submission filed by the former Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Dibu Ojerinde, who was arraigned by the Independent Corrupts and Practices Corruption ICPC in July 2021 and is standing trial on an 18-count charge over an alleged 5.2 billion naira fraud. Ruling on the no-case submission filed by the defendant, Justice Egwatu held that the witnesses presented by the ICPC were able to establish elements of the offense against Ojerinde that require him to enter a defense. He therefore ruled that the no-case submission failed and was dismissed. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the last governorship election in Ondo State, Agbaola Ajayi, has alleged that the All Progressives Congress members had a pre-knowledge of the verdict of the tribunal, a reason he said they were celebrating on the streets of Akure. He therefore vowed to appeal the judgment of the state's election petition tribunal. The tribunal, in its judgment on June 4, affirmed the victory of the candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the election, Lucky Ayedatiwa. The federal government will host a landmark public-private partnership summit in Abuja from June 17 to 18 as part of efforts to mobilize private capital and expertise for Nigeria's infrastructure transformation. A statement signed by the acting head media and publicity, Ifeanyi Nwoko, says the two-day summit themed Unlocking Nigeria's Potential. The role of public-private partnerships in delivering the Renewed Hope agenda will focus on dismantling bureaucratic bottlenecks and driving investment across sectors, including transport, power, broadband, agriculture, and healthcare. The 2025 Nigeria PPP Summit, organized by the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, is expected to attract high-level government officials, global investors, and key private sector leaders for critical conversations around infrastructure development and financing. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted thunderstorms and rain from Wednesday to Friday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook, released in Abuja, envisages early morning thunderstorms on Wednesday over parts of Taraba, Kaduna, and Adamawa in the northern region. It also anticipates thunderstorms with rain over parts of Kebbi, Taraba, Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, Kano, Sokoto, Gombe, and Bauchi states later in the day. Organizers of the June 12 protest, Take It Back movement, have released a list of venues across the country where Nigerians will converge for a scheduled protest. Speaking in an interview, the national coordinator of the movement, Jowon Shawonlu, said the protest will take place in at least 20 locations nationwide. The exercise is aimed at protesting worsening economic hardship, insecurity, and what the organizers described as the shrinking civil space under President Bola Tinubu's administration. And in the meantime, organizers of the June 12 Democracy Day protests, the Take It Back movement, have written to the Lagos State Police Command seeking protection for protesters. The coordinator in Lagos State, Adekunle Taofik, in an open letter to the Lagos Commissioner of Police, Moshood Jimoh, said the letter served as formal and public notification of the protest. The organizers now say June 12 is not a date for silence, but a reminder that Nigerians never beg for freedom. This is Global Television, and you're on to the live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyi Agmofwebe. When the rest of News Cycle returns, U.S. Appeal Court allows Trump's tariff. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. Well, thank you for staying with us, everyone. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business, where President Bola Tinubu has urged the global community to promptly ratify the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction Agreement and increase funding for blue economy initiatives to protect and ensure the sustainable use of the world's oceans. Tinubu made this call at the ongoing United Nations Ocean Conference in Nice, France. Delivering Nigeria's national statement on behalf of the President, Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, stressed that urgent and collective global action is needed to secure the health of the oceans for future generations. The federal government's plan to obtain a $5 billion oil-backed loan from Saudi Arabian oil company Aramco has been hampered by low oil prices in the international markets. Nigeria has in the past obtained about $7 billion loans from Afrexim Bank and other financial institutions using forward sale of its oil production. The Aramco deal, if successful, will be Nigeria's largest oil-backed loan to date and Saudi Arabia's first participation of this scale in the country, although the decline in oil price could shrink the size of the deal. The World Bank has reiterated its projection that the Nigerian economy would grow by 3.6% in 2025, despite the shift in the global trade dynamics. This was disclosed in its twice-yearly Global Economic Prospects Report, where it slashed its forecast for nearly 70% of all economies, including the United States, China, and Europe, as well as 6 emerging market regions from the levels it projected just 6 months ago, prior to U.S. President Donald Trump taking office. The World Bank also slashed its global growth forecast for 2025 by 0.4 percentage points to 2.3%, saying that higher tariffs and heightened uncertainty pose a significant headwind for nearly all economies. And still talking business, the World Food Prize Foundation has announced the appointment of Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the outgoing president of the African Development Bank, AFDB, to its Council of Advisors. The announcement was made by the foundation's president, Mashal Hussein, in a statement released in New York. Adesina, who will complete his second 5-year term at the AFDB in September, is renowned for his contributions to agricultural innovation and economic development across Africa. Nigeria's pension sector remained strong in May 2025, delivering steady returns across all retirement savings account categories, with all funds administrators posting positive returns despite prevailing market volatility and macroeconomic uncertainties. Performance data compiled revealed that all 4 retirement savings account fund types posted gains for the month, resulting in an average return of 1.85%. The Director, Center for Public Policy and Research, Professor Sam Amadi, has raised concerns over Nigeria's debt servicing. Professor Amadi, who stated this at the launch of the book Obi, the Political Change Agent in Abuja, observed that debt servicing is draining national resources. Correspondent Ramsey Agbo has details.
Speaking at the event, the Director, Center for Public Policy and Research, Professor Sam Amadi, called for a shift in political culture. He further advocated for a value-based grassroots movement, one that places national development above ethnic and religious loyalty, and urged Nigerians to reject leaders driven by personal ambition instead supports those with competence, vision, and integrity.
We can't save Nigeria if we're embedded in the corrupt, patrimonial system. We are embedded in the one, all our friends, all our families. We are embedded in the one, all our villages. You can't, because Nigeria is almost verging to a criminal state now. So the leader of this revolution must be a man who can step away from this cobweb of corruption and incompetence and fiercely move on to the right direction.
Actions on justice, character, and the price of being principled in a corrupt system. As chairman of this occasion, I urge us not to see this book as the conclusion of an episode, but the preface to a new national dialogue.
In his remarks, Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, echoed similar sentiment, highlighting the country's urgent need for responsible governance. He criticized a system that spends billions renovating government houses. He criticized a system that spent billions renovating government buildings while ordinary citizens die from preventable conditions due to poor healthcare, lack of toilets, and basic infrastructure. Obi warned that continued neglect of the people, coupled with unchecked corruption and illicit money printing, has devalued the naira and deepened poverty nationwide.
Thank all of you for being part of this. Let us continue to sacrifice. There's no shortcut to it. If we use shortcut, we will not get there. It is sacrifice. You've seen it every day. We must continue. At this stage, we're going to look for people all over. The possibility of a new Nigeria is just a dream. It is necessity. We owe it to ourselves, our children, our future generations, to ensure that our nation is in a place where everyone can thrive, where everyone can live with dignity, and where everyone can reach their full potential.
He compared Nigerians' capacity with the growing transparency in countries like Angola and Ghana, where better fiscal discipline has helped stabilize their currency. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global TV News.
Your reporting is appreciated, Ramsey. Let's turn to the foreign scene now, where a U.S. federal appeals court is allowing President Donald Trump's global tariffs to remain in effect for now while it considers the case on an expedited track. The ruling issued extends a temporary reprieve for the Trump administration as officials push back on a ruling by a lower court that blocked the president's wide-ranging levies. The U.S. Court of International Trade ruled in May that Trump had overstepped his authority with across-the-board global levies. A Russian court has sentenced a Colombian man to 28 years in prison for fighting in the Ukrainian army against Moscow as a mercenary, including in Russia's Kursk region. A court in the border region found the Colombian citizen guilty of taking part in the armed conflict as a mercenary in the armed forces of Ukraine, saying he was sentenced to imprisonment for 28 years. An Israeli strike has killed a Lebanese father and son in a southern village. That's according to the Lebanese Health Ministry and state media, the latest deaths despite a November ceasefire. A second son was also wounded in the strike in Sheba. It was reported that there was no immediate comment from the Israeli authority. Israel had warned that it would keep up its strikes on Hezbollah targets across Lebanon, despite the condemnation expressed by the Lebanese government after a massive strike on South Beirut the previous night on the eve of Eid al-Adha holiday. Let's take you to sports now, where Manchester City has announced the signing of Tijani Rangedas from AC Milan for a reported fee of 46.3 million euros, equivalent of $62.4 million, with the midfielder eligible to play in the Club World Cup. The Dutch international midfielder, City's fourth signing of the week, said it was ecstatic to be signing for the Pep Guardiola side. The club announced deals for midfielder Ryan Cherki from Lyon and Chelsea's third-choice goalkeeper Marcos Bertolini, while left-back Ryan Ed Nuri joined from Wolves. And that's a full cycle here on the news. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG, as well as other handles now showing on your screen. We encourage you to download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our 247 broadcast. I'm Uyi Agumofwegbe. On behalf of my team, I say thank you for watching. We will see you again.